Kimberly Guilfoyle, who is Donald Trump Jr.'s girlfriend, is being accused of sexual harassment from the time she was working at Fox. This is a new report that just came out a few days ago, and I want to talk about it. Maybe you think it's kind of irrelevant, why does it matter? But I'll get to that and how it actually could be impactful a little bit later at the end. First, if you don't know who Kimberly Guilfoyle is, don't feel bad because I wasn't really familiar with her either. You might recognize her from the RNC. I don't know entirely what happened there. It seems likely she was used to speaking to a crowd, and when there wasn't a crowd it seemed a little bit awkward, but she was mocked fairly ruthlessly online for speaking too loud. Currently, however, she is the girlfriend of Donald Trump Jr., and this is why I think it's going to be relevant. But first, let's just look at the facts of the case. Now, Guilfoyle used to work at Fox News until a few years ago. It's coming out now that she was allegedly terminated because of sexual harassment. One of her assistants alleges that she engaged in degrading, abusive, and sexually inappropriate behavior. What exactly did that behavior entail? Well, the same assistant alleges that Guilfoyle subjected her frequently to degrading, abusive, and sexually inappropriate behavior. That she was expected to work at Guilfoyle's home while Guilfoyle was nude, which is really weird. That Guilfoyle exposed herself to the assistant and demanded a massage of her bare thighs. And that Guilfoyle pressured the assistant to sleep over at her apartment and share hotel rooms. Now, if it were just that last part, where Guilfoyle wanted to have a sleepover or a slumber party, I mean, that's a little bit weird, but it's not too horrible. But the rest of it, if that did really happen, that does look like sexual harassment. Those are not things that are appropriate in the workplace or with workplace associates more generally. Not only that, but it's kind of weird. I guess she felt comfortable enough with her body, just walk around naked. Good for her, but that's not appropriate. Again, if that is what happened. And to be completely honest, Fox News does not have the best track record when it comes to sexual assault or sexual harassment allegations. I mean, this article points out how there were other individuals at Fox, like Boiling, O'Reilly, Horowitz, who were also accused of sexual harassment. So maybe Fox isn't vetting people very well, I don't know what's going on there. Not only that, but Guilfoyle is further accused of offering the woman payments for loyalty when allegations against another person came up. So not only is Guilfoyle herself being accused of sexual harassment, she's also being accused of trying to cover up the harassment of someone else at Fox News, because she was offering to pay her assistant to keep them quiet. Now, the name of the assistant has not and likely will not be disclosed because the assistant signed a non-disclosure agreement with Fox News. And in doing so, they allegedly got a $4.4 million settlement. Now, I understand that a settlement doesn't necessarily mean that it happened, but $4.4 million is a fairly large amount. If it didn't happen and Fox could show that it didn't happen, you think they'd be more inclined to not settle at all and also not fire Kimberly Guilfoyle. The fact that she did get fired and that this assistant got a settlement doesn't speak very highly of Kimberly Guilfoyle. And I've said that name so many times, it's starting to sound really weird. For her part, Guilfoyle is saying that it never happened. Quote, "I have never engaged in any workplace misconduct of any kind." Which I understand what she's trying to say. She was never part of any sexual harassment, at least that's her claim. But to say that you were never part of any workplace misconduct of any kind, that's pretty broad. I honestly don't know how many people could say they were never part of any misconduct of any kind in the workplace. Like even a little thing, like maybe taking a pencil home on accident. That's some form of misconduct, right? But the reason I think this is relevant at all is because of her connections to Donald Trump. Now granted, she's dating Donald Trump Jr., so she's only tangentially connected to Donald Trump. But she's also donated money to his campaign, so there's that too. However, the main thing that I see here is the media are going to look at this and they're going to somehow pin it on Donald Trump, because that's literally what they do. Even though he's not responsible for any of this in any way, they're going to say something along the lines of, the fact that Donald Trump Jr. is hanging out with and dating someone who's accused of sexual harassment like this just shows how horrible a person Donald Trump is. Because when the media get anything they can try and relate to Donald Trump to paint him in a bad light, that's exactly what they do. Look no further than the fact that right now, Donald Trump is in the hospital because he's sick, and hopefully he feels better and he does well. But many people, including Michael Moore, think that somehow he's lying about this, that he's doing this for pity points or something. I don't know. If they can stoop that low, it's not really that much of a stretch to try and associate him in some way with Kimberly Guilfoyle and the sexual harassment allegations being made against her. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe nothing will come of it and it won't be a big news story. I mean, this story did come out 2 days ago and I'm only just hearing about it now, so maybe it won't pick up. But if it does, they need to be prepared for it. And it kind of sucks for Donald Trump Jr. If he didn't know why she was fired from Fox and now this happened, well, he's probably feeling a little bit awkward, if nothing else. One last time, just to reiterate, it's entirely possible that none of this did happen. I don't really know. but I am saying there seems to be at least enough evidence that Fox News felt they had to settle and that they should fire her in the first place. And thank you for sticking through the entire video. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you can always stay up to date on these videos. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.